Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy Noah back again with another YouTube video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's video. In today's video, I want to talk about how over-identification with our roles can actually be detrimental to our growth, And when we look at, Earth in general and this planet, right? All of us are brought on here to learn, right? It's part of growth. It's part of our evolution, It's part of the human evolution is growth and learning, And so in this video, I want to talk about how over-identification with our roles can actually be detrimental to our growth by being closed off to learning, And some of the ways in which this manifests is actually, the school system, right? A lot of teachers, very heavily identified with their role. This can go in terms with professors as well, some parents, right? Political leaders, whoever it may be, right? People who have positions of quote-unquote power, right? Tend to overly identify with their roles. And while this can be kind of toxic, it can also block the learning aspect of the role. A lot of teachers, right, when we talk about school is built for one way of learning, you know what I mean? And that is why a lot of kids actually drop out of school, right? A lot of students actually don't make it that far because there's only one way that we're actually taught to learn. And teachers in school systems nowadays oftentimes tend to block themselves from growing, and this is because a lot of the times they don't really accept some of the ideas that their students have, or if their student offers a different perspective, right, the teacher will most of the time shut it down, and this is what separates a very well-versed teacher to a teacher that isn't very beneficial to the class, because a teacher that students always appreciate and students always love is teachers that are willing to listen and willing to learn from the students, They understand that they are the teachers as well as the students, you know what I mean? They're the teachers just as much as they are the students, even though they are a qualified teacher, right? They are open-minded enough to be able to learn from the students and be able to gain, new perspectives, right? This is all helpful towards their growth. And a lot of the times teachers are very hesitant in terms of when it comes to certain students' ideas. And you could kind of blame this towards what the school system expects from the teacher, right? A lot of it is how the school system is set up as well, right? It's not very beneficial to the student or the teacher, right? But in general, this goes with professors as well as parents, you know what I mean? A lot of the times parents over-identify with their role, and that is why it is important to become the student just as much as you are the teacher, because all of us are always constantly learning. No one knows everything, you know what I mean? There isn't anyone who can't learn because they've already learned enough, that just doesn't exist. It doesn't, it can't happen because there's so many different perspectives and there's so many different things that we are brought onto this planet to actually learn. And that's why it is like a huge school of learning, When we talk about living on the planet, it's a huge learning field, it's a huge study field because we're always constantly learning from different people, right? Our surroundings, our nature, right? Everything. And when we over-identify with our role, we're not remembering that we are also the student, That is a huge part of being able to accept both the teacher and the student role, because the teachers teach the student, right? But the students can also teach the teachers, right? This goes the same hand in hand with the mother and the son, right? Oftentimes mothers and fathers, I should say, right? Mothers and fathers, they think that they know everything. That's why when they birth children into this world, they are very closed off to new perspectives, and they can tend to just be not as open-minded as someone who is willing to learn from their kid, from their child, and this is why a lot of the times we see dysfunctional family relationships, right? Because the children don't feel like they're being, heard or listened to. And this can cause a dissonance because, the child subconsciously is just offering a new perspective, but the parent isn't willing to learn or, listen. And this is detrimental to the growth of the parent, and it's also not helping the child as well. That is why it is important to let go of identifications. Our identity is so flexible. We have the ability to be whatever it is that we want to be. The only thing that's separating us from becoming what it is that we want to be is our belief systems. And while this is very prominent and very true, it's also important to have a balance there, because we don't want to be too over-identified with our roles, you know what I mean? Because it can stunt our growth, it can stunt our progress in life and our progress moving forward. So that is why it is important to learn to become the student as well as the teacher, because just as much as the teacher can teach, the student can also teach. And, throughout my journey, right, I realized that I am teaching on YouTube. That is a lot of what I do here on my channel. But I also realized that I don't really know anything. I'm always constantly learning, and there's always room for me to grow. There's always room for me to get better at whatever it is that I'm doing. And same thing goes for you. And that is why I think it's important to be able to understand that there is a balance of both teaching and learning, right? Even if you feel like you don't know anything, you can still teach people. You can still show people what you believe in. You can still teach people how to whatever, you can still teach people even if you feel like you don't know anything, right? You know something, right? Everybody knows something. That's the beautiful thing about it, is as much as one person might not know as much as somebody else, they do know something that they could potentially teach someone else that might know more than them. It really is all just subjective, and that's why it's important to kind of just have fun, you know what I mean? Not being overly identified with our role allows us to just live life and have fun and experience the journey. This is the fastest way that we can actually grow, is just letting go and having fun of over-identifications, with whatever it is in your life. Oh, I'm a teacher, so I must be this, and this way. It's like, no, you know what I mean? We didn't come on earth to kind of conform and kind of be the same way as everybody else, right? We came here to be different and to spread our wings. And so I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's video. I really appreciate all the support that I've been getting from you guys. It's been amazing. I'm just so grateful that I'm able to come on here and post videos for you guys, sharing my experience, and hopefully you can gain value from it. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to let me know in the comments section below. And more importantly, if you have any video suggestions that you want me to talk about, I will make a video on it. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. And with that being said, have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or night wherever you're at. And peace, love, and happiness. Mwah.